Thank you, Mr. President. In just a few weeks, our great country will mark the 75th anniversary of President Roosevelt's executive order authorizing the internment of hundreds of thousands of Japanese, German, and Italian Americans during World War II. They were rounded up with their families and held behind barbed wire like war criminals. But they had done nothing wrong. Their crime, being Japanese, being German, being Italian, they were labeled enemy aliens. Mark Twain reportedly said that history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And this seems to be the path that the president has pursued with his Muslim ban. This ban has already harmed green card holders, students, business people, and those fleeing violence and persecution. Remember, these are the people fleeing the violence, not the perpetrators of the violence. They are the victims, not the criminals. They have been pulled from their flights, left stranded in the airports. They have been detained without the ability to talk with a lawyer. And they're wondering if the United States of America is still the beacon of hope, the lamp by the golden door, the shining city on the hill. Iraqis who risked their lives to serve our country as translators saw their visas revoked. An 11-month-old baby was detained. That's disgusting. It's un-American. It's contrary to everything that we stand for. We stand for providing refuge for those who want to escape their own awful circumstances and live in freedom and opportunity. It's my grandparents escaping Ukraine. It's my wife's grandparents leaving China. It's the Schatzes. It's the Binders. It's the Kwaks. It's Albert Einstein. It's Madeleine Albright. This is who we are. We are people from all over the world who are united not by our ethnic extraction or religious affiliation, but tied together by our love for America. And here's the thing, it's not even as though we are trading liberty for security. We are getting no additional security. This is all about being cruel to Muslims because it's good politics for some people. This isn't just morally wrong, it's also guaranteed not to work. This ban is just ridiculous as a homeland security measure. First, 0 people from the countries on the ban list have been involved in terrorist attacks in America. 0 people from the countries on the ban list have been involved in terrorist attacks on America. It's almost as though the criteria for picking the countries is something other than the threat of terrorism. Second, this ban has the potential to strengthen violent extremist groups by playing right into their hands. It encourages everyone to be afraid of people we don't know from other places. That's not America, and it won't work. When President Gerald Ford repealed the executive order interning Japanese Americans, he asked citizens across the country to make a pledge. He said, and I quote, "I call upon the American people to affirm with me this American promise, that we have learned from the tragedy of that long ago experience forever to treasure liberty and justice for each individual American, and resolve that this kind of action shall never again be repeated." That promise is being broken. It's broken for the American who came to this country as a lost boy from Sudan and who now can't see his family. It's broken for the American married to an Iranian who the government is splitting from her husband. And it's broken for the millions of Americans, the majority of us, who want us always to have the moral high ground. The world is watching. History is watching. And we have to ask ourselves, what do they see? Do they see Lady Liberty? Or do they see something darker? The choice is ours. We can fix this. And we start by following the wise words of Fred Korematsu, an outspoken voice against Japanese internment and an American hero whose birthday is today, 98 years old. He said, "Protest, but not with violence, and don't be afraid to speak up. Today, I call on every member of the United States Senate to follow Mr. Korematsu's advice. Speak up and stand against this ban and fight chaos and paranoia as official government policy.